This is the Hans Christian Andersen fable, The Emperor's New Clothes. Two swindlers arrive at the capital city of an emperor who spends lavishly on clothing at the expense of state matters. Posing as weavers, they offer to supply him with magnificent clothes that are invisible to those who are stupid or incompetent. The emperor hires them, and they set up looms and go to work. A succession of officials, and then the emperor himself, visit them to check their progress. Each sees that the looms are empty, but pretends otherwise to avoid being thought a fool. Finally, the weavers report that the emperor's suit is finished. They mime dressing him, and he sets off in a procession before the whole city. The townsfolk uncomfortably go along with the pretense, not wanting to appear inept or stupid, until a child blurts out that the emperor is wearing nothing at all. The people then realize that everyone has been fooled. Although startled, the emperor continues the procession, walking more proudly than ever. So, if you think about this fable as an analogy to what we have going on right now, they are trying to control the perception of our leaders and the people in power so much, and they're using our neighbors and friends as that sort of authority figure that controls people from pointing out the discrepancies in the narrative, using shame and embarrassment, ultimately. So you're a fool, or you're stupid, or you're racist, or you're a bigot if you point out anything that's antithetical to the political narrative. Anything that the machine, the mainstream media is putting out, if you say anything that's opposite of that, you're a fool, or you're in the purpose of the fable, you're stupid or incompetent or ignorant. And what we have going on right now is they assign you racist or misogynist or ists or isms to try and silence you. And it takes like a child in the fable, it takes a fool, it takes the youth, it takes the light, the innocent to point out that what we're doing is ridiculous. And anybody, if you think about it from an abstract, childlike point of view, it's ridiculous to watch this elite class strutting around naked with their grapes and twigs hanging out, and we're not saying anything about it. I mean, what they're doing is stupid and insipid and empty and violent at times and vicious, and we're not calling it out for what it is because we're afraid of the response that we're going to get from the townsfolk, from the people around us. We don't want to be seen as stupid or incompetent. And maybe that's like some of our elected officials are dealing with the same paradigm. Like, they don't want to be attacked by their lobbyists, or they're beholden to the opinions of other authority figures, so they can't say to the emperor, hey, what you're doing is wrong. I mean, it's disgusting. It's like we're all stuck in this system where we're trying to please authority figures that we're projecting into the room. And it's becoming concrete in our society to operate from a place of fear of social consequences. And this fable is about how powerful the fear of ostracization or social consequences can be used to manipulate and control people. And the scariest part of the fable, scariest part of this analogy, is at the end, when the emperor sees that everyone's laughing at him and the townsfolk are freed from the delusion, they're freed from their cognitive dissonance, and they're laughing and releasing this euphoria about seeing that the emperor is walking naked and the whole power dynamics have shifted, the emperor walks proudly on. And that's what terrifies me the most, is that when people do finally wake up, when they've seen, when the cargo ships stack up and we have this huge supply chain issue and people can't get home for the holidays, or if it takes 2 years for people to wake up, when they finally do, the people in power who've wasted money on invisible clothing will just walk proudly on, continuing in their work. And however nefarious their procession is, we stand idly by and stay silent because we're afraid of the social consequences. We cannot give that much power to a social credit system that we're self-inducing. We need to step away from it, put value in our families and our principles and truth, and stand up and say, hey, the emperor is not well, or hey, the emperor is walking around naked. Why is he our leader? Why are we bowing down to this just nonsense narrative constantly? It is nonsense. A child can see that. And they will just continue to walk proudly on. So you might as well wake up.